Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors GNN review video. This week we have the second part of the Starburst Pulses power release, which will include the remaining jackpot card that we have not covered yet, and that will be Ophiuchus. Other than that, we will also have a news about a new guild mission, the Imperial Ceramic Prince. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's GNN news. So, as mentioned, we will have the Starburst Pulses power release as well as a new guild mission. And the new guild mission will include a new card, which is going to be Kazuki, Imperial Obina Kazuki. He is going to be a Earth Machina card with a CD7 skill and the following active skill effect. For one round, extend runes of movement time to 15 seconds. Damage of Machinas will be dealt regardless of initial shield and fixed combo shield. Moreover, combo count increases by 5, and if all Machinas have 100% fuel upon skill activation, your combo increases by 15 times instead, or by 15 instead. I'm surprised that this is a Machina. I am not gonna lie. On 6th of March, new Imperial. Oh, ceramic. Okay, that makes sense. He is going to be a ceramic prince, which is a doll, and on an automata, I guess, from that. So it does make sense that he is going to be an Earth Machina. If this is your first time playing a guild event, you do get points up to 20. You do get points for each stage clearance, and you also are able to get previous guild event cards. In this case, you'll be able to get Dionysus, Yulao, Venus, and Tiffany, and you do get extra points. And at the end of those, depending on the amount of points that you get in the guild mission, you will be getting extra rewards, with one of them being a skill level max Imperial Obina Kazuki. So, is this card good? Honestly, as far as Makinas goes, I think this card is very decent and has a really good active skill. It does give you a lot of extra movement time. It also has a lot of utility in that you can ignore initial shield and you can also ignore fixed combo shield. Those are two shields that are pretty annoying to deal with, and being able to have an active skill to ignore them is very useful. Not only that, you also get a combo count increase, which definitely helps when you're dealing with high combo enemies, especially when Madhead has been releasing cards that require you to do 10 or more combos, 13 or more combos. Sometimes I've seen 22 or more combos, or 23 or more combos, so being able to increase your combo count is really good, especially when your combo increase goes up to 15 if you have 100% fuel upon skill activation. And honestly, for Makinas, reaching 100% fuel is the end goal anyways, and if you're running teams like Lilith, you already have 100% fuel from the beginning. So this is going to be a really powerful active skill, and in my opinion, definitely worth getting this card at dual max so that you have this much utility for a Makina team. That being said, we don't really have that many good Makina leaders right now. Maybe Lilith sometimes, but in the future, when there's a better Makina leader, this card will definitely find a home there. CD7 is a little bit on the longer side, but I do believe that this active skill already has enough utility to make it worth uh, getting at dual max. Yeah, so like I was saying before, you do get extra points for each stage clearance, and you do get extra rewards if you hit certain point thresholds, including a mini Mad Head, a Baby Harpy Knight, a this guy, and then the skill level max um, Gasuki. And this is going to be the main reward. So make sure you get that because that means you do not have to spend any baby harpies or any harpies on him since you will already have him at level max or skill level max. You also get personal score rewards, including Ceramic Prince, skill level 1, and what card is that? Huh. You do get a skill level 10, um, this guy, which I believe. Who is he? I think he's the one um, from the previous guild mission. But yeah, uh, yeah, being able to get a skill level 10 character is also not a bad thing. So definitely go for those personal score rewards if you can. We also have news about the new 20 wave transmigration stage, which will be in line with the Girls' Day celebration, where we can get different rice cakes and different items in order to use for the shop. So this one is just going to be a your regular challenge stage for veteran players, for new players to test out teams and things like that. And you will be able to get um, Hishi rice cakes, Swiss fried crackers, clam chowders, and wagashi for each clearance of the 5th, 10th, 15th wave, and 20 wave, respectively, which will help you get those rewards from the event limited shop. So, definitely go ahead and try this transmigration and be sure to get all the rewards so that you can get all the free goodies from the shop. And now we come to my personal meat and potatoes of this GNN news, which is going to be the Starburst Pulses series power release, which will include the jackpot card we're missing, Ophiuchus. We also missing Perseus. We're missing Mitty Marble, and we are missing Draco. So it is going to be really fun to see what we have in store for these new four cards. So starting off with the new uh, jackpot card, which, if you didn't know, for the Star Pulse Burst series, Ophiuchus was the 1% jackpot card. So I am expecting him to be hopefully really powerful since he was such a good leader back in the day. So for his leader skill, we have that when the team has only Starburst pulses, members, elves, or gods, team attack increases by 10 times. HP and recovery increases by 1.6, and by dissolving runestones of the member's attributes, team attack increases by 5.5 times additionally. This is a pretty simple leader skill that only has multiplier, but it's a really good multiplier. Times 10 multiplier is actually pretty high given the current meta right now, and an additional 5.5 times multiplier just by dissolving your runestones of the member's attributes. That is absolutely insane, and it's a super easy condition to hit because let's face it, you will always be dissolving runestones of the member's attributes, especially since Ophiuchus is able to run a rainbow team since his leader skill doesn't have an attribute restriction. He does have a race and a trait restriction, but attribute wise, you're not restricted to any of that, so it will make this condition even easier if you run teammates of different attributes. But yeah, for his team skill, we have that when the leader is Navigator of Stars of Fucus and the ally is another Starburst Pulse member, change the leader skill to Aggression of the Serpent Bearer EX. So, uh, his leader skill will change to the following: Team attack times 10, HP and recovery times 1.5, 2.5, which this one increases by dissolving it, runestones of the member's attribute, team attack times 5.5. This stays the same. Turn runestones touch while moving into enchanted runestones. The more steps move while moving runestones, the higher the team attack, to the max of times 4 additionally for 50 steps. And this is basically his old team skill. This is his old team skill again, just with better multipliers. Enchanted Trail was absolutely broken for him when he first came out because it was one of the few leaders that could deal with Masked Trail, um, locked for recovery runes, weakened runes, just by moving the runes around. And the 50 step condition is also not that hard to hit because you can just finish your movement and just move back and forth in one square, and that will still give you those 50 steps that you need. So you do get a times 4 additional multiplier just by moving 50 steps. And honestly, his playstyle, his core mechanic remains the same from his pre-power release version, and I think that is a pretty good thing since his playstyle was really fun, and now his multipliers have been adjusted for the current meta. Not only that, we do get some additional team skills too, where elves get an HP value increase of plus 2000, Runestone movement time will not be stopped when an electrified rune is touched. Sticky and burning will be nullified. Modify the runestone touch while moving to become god runestones. Modify the runestones touch while moving to become runestones of the corresponding members raised in each column. Wait. Modify the runestones touch while moving to become runestones of the corresponding members raised in each column. Hard runes possess also the effect of all attributed runestones. Runestones of Starburst Pulse's members in attribute in the team will also possess the effect of each other. Runestones of the Starburst Pulse's members races in the team also possess the effect of each other. Wait, that's oh race rune. Okay. The more kinds of race runes dissolve, the more the following effects will be triggered. More than one, team attack increases by 2.5. More than two, damage will be dealt regardless of anti-runestone shield first batch, duo, trio, quartet, and quintet elemental shield, and three kinds combo count increases by 10. Wow, okay. That that is absolutely insane. This how do I put this? The way I'm reading this makes Ophiuchus a very easy leader to play, and you don't need any planning. What I'm trying to say is that this leader skill seems to be a little bit broken and a little bit brainless. Where if you just move your runestones, it becomes the attribute. Okay, no. Okay, I'm reading this wrong. Okay. Modify the runestone's touch while moving to become runestones of the corresponder's race. Here's the thing. I thought this said attribute, and I thought, well, that just means you just create an entire board of the corresponding attributes, and I think that was insanely broken. But okay, no, I am wrong. And you only generate race runes of the corresponding members types. So I think you benefit from running multiple races in this team because you do want to hit up this race rune condition at the end where you get 2.5 attack boost, which is pretty significant. You also get a lot of utility with anti-runestone shield and duo, trio, quarter, and quint elemental shield, and you also get a combo count increase of plus 10. So honestly, I do think this. Um, okay, he is not brainless. You still have to play him normally, but honestly, that's good. um, but I do think his leader skill and team skill is definitely really fun to play. Um, there is utility built into it, so that is going to give you a lot of outs to certain enemy skills. And you also have Runestone Possession effect. You're not restricted by attribute. Um, you're only restricted by race to be elves and gods or Starburst Pulse members. But overall, Runestone Possession effect, a Runestone movement time increase, ignoring Electrify rune, ignore Sticky, ignore Burning. You have Enchanted Trail. You ignore Anti-Runestone Shield, you ignore Duo, Trio, Quartine, Quintet Elemental Shield, and you also increase your combo count by 10. That is absolutely insane, and I do think this is a really good team skill. However, do keep in mind that if you want to get this plus 10 combo, you do need to run another Starburst Pulse member in your team because your leader skill only um, encompasses elves and gods uh, in general, and so the other race rune that you might get has to be uh, beast, dragon. Um, it has to be a beast or a dragon, since the other members from the Starburst pulses are either gods, beasts, or dragons from Draco. So basically, if you do want to get this third effect right here, you're going to have to either run Lynx, Mitty Marble, or Draco. which honestly is not that bad because if you run Meaty and Marble in this team, you do get an additional HP attack and recovery bonus. But in my opinion, I think you might be better off running a card like Lynx, which has a guaranteed skydrop effect for your teams. So that's the only thing that you need to keep in mind, that this three types of race rune condition will only be easily achievable if you run a third non-god, non-elf Starburst Pulse member, because otherwise your leader skill will not trigger and your damage output will be very sad. But yeah, now we move on to his active skill, which was one of the original unlimited runestone movement time or time tunnel skills that we had in the game. A really powerful one at that. And now we have two active skills. Oh, interesting. So first active skill is CD6, explode all runes to generate all six attributes of fixed numbers. And if the team has only Starburst Pulses members, explode all runes to generate enchanted runes of all six attributes of fixed numbers and fixed positions. Honestly, I think this is a pretty nice active skill. Not super broken. It does help you out very in a lot of situations where you need to get rid of a lot of runes. For example, electrify runes, sticky runes. I mean not sticky, weather runes. Uh, lock for recovery, weaken runes. Um, blocked runes that if you have a full board that you cannot dissolve, you're able to use this to get rid of that. And honestly, the en- the second effect is nice and all, but it's basically the same effect as the first one, just with more convenience built into it. Because you get fixed numbers and fixed positions, which means that you don't really have to spin. But if you're good enough, you can turn the first effect into the second effect because Ophiuchus has Enchanted Trail, so you can make everything enchanted and you could make your own combos. So that's also pretty good. So honestly, don't feel obligated to only run Starburst Pulse members because Ophiuchus will shine the best with access to all the God and Elf support cards in the game. So honestly, CD6 active skill for this effect, not bad at all. But CD7, his second active skill, is definitely going to be the one that is going to be the better one out of the two of them, since it includes unlimited runes to movement time for 15 seconds. Again, because you have Enchanted Trail, this means that you can generate an enchanted board, and Time Tunnel, again, in my opinion, is one of the most broken skills in the game. So, CD7 Time Tunnel, definitely a good thing to have. Not only that, you also get a times 3 team attack, and damage will be dealt regardless of initial shield, which honestly is very good to have as a passive. And if you noticed, it is not included in his team skill, which makes it a really good coverage active skill for you to have to get rid of a lot of annoying enemies. So yeah, I do think Ophiuchus is a really good card. Um, and if you have him, I definitely recommend power releasing him because he has really good active skills and really fun leader playstyles. And honestly, as a member, he is also going to be really useful because now he has dual active skills, which means that he has more utility. He can explode runes and he can also give you a time tunnel and ignore initial shield. Um, Granted, this is only for a mono or like god and elf initial shield break, but it's still good regardless, since who knows when the next god or elf um, leader might be coming out soon. But yeah, I do think he's a good member. He's a good leader, so definitely worth getting him or releasing him if you have him. But yeah, next we have Intergalactic Combo Meteor Marble, which is going to be a light beast card, a CD6 skill, and has the following effect: release the lock skill of Starburst Pulse and Beasts. This skill will not be locked. Turn the column below Starburst Pulses members and Beast into runestones of the member's attribute and race in each column. If the team has only Starburst pulses or beasts, Runestone's turn will become enchanted runes and turn the columns below other members into heart runes. Honestly, also a very good active skill. However, this is a release skill, so definitely just a very situational card that you will only bring if you need to unlock your active skills. Because the other effect is very nice, it gives you a fixed board for you to spin, which will give you an easier time. But other than that, you don't really have much more utility to it. But being able to release your active skills is definitely going to be really good, especially because this is a Starburst Pulse specific unlocker and a Beast unlocker, which also gives it more flexibility in when it comes to team building. So definitely a good card to have as well. CD6 also a pretty decent um, cooldown for this type of active skill, so it's actually not that bad. Next we have Auriga, which has a CD1 skill. According to the number of accumulated battle rounds, reduce damage received. For each accumulated round, you will have a minus 12.5 damage reduction to the max of 100% for 8 rounds. If the skill is activated when 8 or more battle rounds are accumulated, Starburst pulses and fire members attack increases by 2 times and recovery increases by 2 times. Countering will be reduced by half when the skill is activated. Honestly, in my opinion, is one of the weaker cards in this series because damage reduction, while it is really good and it can save you in certain scenarios, a lot of the most annoying enemies or the harder enemies to counter have always come with a defense break skill. And Madhead does that because there's a lot of leaders that can face tank a lot of enemies, or they have Tumbler where you can just survive the enemy attacks. So they release harder enemies that do not let you use defensive skills. And here's the thing with this type of battle round accumulation effect. No matter how much CD reduction you have, no matter how many EP increase skills you have, there still isn't a way for you to artificially increase your battle rounds. And so, for you to reach the max of minus 100% damage reduction, you have to wait 8 rounds, even if you have CD reduction. Uh, and this skill by itself is already CD1, so it is, in my opinion, not that great of a card, but I can see when it comes into play. Because you have a CD1 minus 12.5% damage reduction at all times, which is not much, but it could save you in a certain pinch. Um, but in my opinion, I think being able to kill your enemy before it kills you is better. So bringing a different card that can boost your team will be more useful to having a card that only reduces your damage. Yes, you do get a times two at times two attack and recovery bonus, but that's only if you activate the skill when there's 8 or more battle rounds. So in the event that you have to activate this skill at 4 rounds because the enemy is gonna kill you, 4 rounds is still minus 50% reduction, which is pretty good. But that means you will not benefit from the times 2, and now you have to wait again to accumulate those battle rounds to be able to get that times 2 attack and recovery. So in my opinion, Auriga is one of the weaker cards, and I would put it lower in the priority list in of which cards to power release because it's actually not that great. But yeah, so now we have the last card to be power release, which is going to be Immolation of Alienation Draco. And this one I'm excited about because she was a really good member in Dragon teams. So Earth Dragon with a CD6 skill and has the following effect. The first dragon with the highest attack from the left will launch 4 extra attacks, one each for water, fire, earth, and light, as much as 50% of its own attack, and it will launch 2 extra dark attacks. Recovery will be lowered to 0, and the skill will stay in play until no attack is launched by that dragon. Um, Honestly, still as good as a skill as it was before. Nowadays, we don't have that many dragons, and honestly, this card was tailor made for Novalis. And if we're completely honest, we haven't seen Novalis. Uh, Novalis hasn't seen play in a very, very long time. But when we have a situation where Novalis can see play, or you have a dragon with a very high attack, launching 6 extra attacks, one of each attribute, is going to be super powerful. And this is because, one, you're launching extra attacks, which is extra damage, but you're also able to break the 5 attribute shield, where you do require to hit the enemy with 5 different attributes in order to deal damage. And usually, when you have a skill like that, all 5 attacks are wasted on breaking that shield. However, at the very least, this one gives you 2 extra dark attacks, which means that at least one damage or one damage count will go through. And if you're dealing with something like Novalis, which has an immense burst attack for killing enemies, this means that you can potentially still kill the enemy with that single attack. So, honestly, a very good dragon skill. Not sure how good it will be in a mono Starburst Pulse team, just because in that scenario, Draco will be the only dragon in the team, and most likely the one launching the extra attacks. And honestly, not super great if you're doing that. Might as well bring another card for the team to boost the team overall. But this card is absolutely broken if you want to run a dragon team. And I do believe that in the future this might be really powerful as well. The only downside is that it doesn't include any utility to it or any shield breaking potential to it, because the only shield it breaks is the 5 attribute shield and extra attack shields maybe. But honestly, a really good active skill, and the recovery lowering to 0 is also very good because it might be very useful for enemies that have recovery inversion. And honestly, dragons don't really need it, but if you put her in a Starburst Pulse team, you may be able to save Lynx, Andromeda, or Ophiuchus from killing themselves from their recovery. Especially Andromeda, because Andromeda is an elf card and elves have very high recovery stats. But yeah, so that is going to be the end of this GNN video, GNN review video. So just to recap, we are going to have a new guild mission with a new character, Imperial Obinia Kazuki. He will be able to give you extended runes to movement time, initial shield breaking, fixed combo shield breaking, and extra combos, and overall a really good Machina member for you to obtain. Definitely get your personal scores and your guild scores up because the rewards are free and definitely worth getting. We also have a new transmigration stage which will test our team building skills in order to clear them and be able to get items for the new um, Girls' Day event shop. So definitely don't miss out that chance to get free rewards. So go ahead and try that. And last but not least, we have the most important news of this week, which is going to be the phase 2 of the Starburst Pulse power release. We have Ophiuchus, the 1% jackpot card of this series, and honestly, a really solid leader with solid multipliers now that are very competitive in the current meta. Also, a good team skill, and in my opinion, a very good active skill. And not only did his active skill get a buff, he got a second active skill that is also pretty useful. We have Midian Marble, which is going to be a good unlocker. We have Auriga, which in my opinion should be the last card in your priority list to power release from the series. And we have Draco, which is right now not super powerful, but you might want to consider power releasing her if you're planning on playing dragon teams in the future, or just having in your inventory on standby until you get a powerful dragon team. And so yeah, that is going to be all for this week's GNN review. Please let me know in the comments if I said anything wrong or if I missed anything. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!
在生活之塔相遇，召唤出惊喜，让生活充满乐趣。开局迎来最初胜利，大师的初心。